Thank you. Hi, Ross.
Hopefully.
You there, Ross?
Motion to adjourn.
Well, Ross is trying to unmute himself, it appears. And again, we are not, obviously are very familiar with Zoom. Teams is a new system. We're trying to just safely allow this to occur. But it is not something we are very familiar with at this point. But following, as the board is aware, we are in the midst of the Kings Highway Park Task Force, and had a very successful meeting the other night where I think we accomplished quite a bit. Through those meetings, it was brought to the board's attention that we have wonderful ideas. Everyone on the task force is contributing, and I think there's a great vision for that property. However, at a certain point, we really would benefit from the use of a professional engineer to tell us essentially what we can do, what's compliant, and then to put together a conceptual design for the public to view, and of course cost estimates, preliminary cost estimates for potential grant funding. With that in mind, we engaged with our township engineer, Ross from Gilmore, and he has before the board for consideration this evening PSA associated with that project. This would allow Gilmore and Ross, with others who have engaged a number of different parks throughout the county successfully, the ability to essentially map out the park property, the Kings Highway Spackman Farm property, including the topography, and then to take some of the vision of the task force and put it on this conceptual design, and then put together some preliminary cost associated with that project. The proposal before the board this evening for consideration includes all that was just mentioned, with a not to exceed amount of $25,000. In speaking with Ross and his team, he does not feel the full amount would be necessary. He wanted to build in additional capacity within the PSA to expand, and also he was not sure quite what the vision of the task force will be. So based on how specific the task force wants to get in terms of the future of the park in various phases, he wanted to build in that higher ceiling in which to allow capacity, but does not anticipate needing to spend, of course, all the not to exceed amount. Happy to answer any questions, and I'm not sure if we were able to resolve the IT issues associated with Ross. Again, apologize.
He can't hear us, but I can hear Don for about 2 to 3 seconds at a time, and then it cuts out. That's good.
You get to do that all over?
Ross, can you hear us?
Obviously, this is a work in progress with the IT. Yeah, we are able to communicate here in person.
There's no public online, right?
No, it's just Ross.
So he's like, oh, okay. Is that Ross?
Well, that wasn't a Philly.
With Ross?
Hey,
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
yeah.
Sorry, I had some technical difficulties. I wasn't able to hear the meeting, but I can hear you now.
Well, Ross, I was able to stretch a little bit there and explain the PSA that was presented, discuss the coordination between your work and your team's work, and the Kings Highway Park Task Force. Highlight some of the components of the proposal, and of course, discuss the not to exceed amount of 25,000, indicating we may not need the full amount, but building in that capacity in which to expand based on the vision of the task force as it develops. At this point, if there's anything I'm leaving out, of course, any of the technical, please feel free.
Well, thank you, Don. So just to give an overview, and Don may have already covered some of these items, but our proposal includes services to prepare some concept plans for the park based on the feedback from the committee about what features they would like to be included. We would use publicly available contour information as well as aerial imagery to create a base and then draw on top of that all of the proposed features. And we would, in addition to things like parking lots and walking trails, we would be taking a look at the best place to locate driveways into the site, as well as potentially crosswalks for reaching to the meeting house site and perhaps across the street to overflow parking potential. And then additionally, we would evaluate the proposed site plan from the perspective of the zoning ordinance and make sure that there are no variances needed or anything that would be incompatible with the zoning ordinance. And beyond that, we have some time allocated for meetings with township staff so that we can refine the concept plan a bit and based on a little bit of back and forth and arrive at the desired concept, and then prepare some preliminary cost estimates for that concept plan so that the cost estimates can support grant applications for funding.
Commissioners, questions? Welcome aboard. Well, it's always good to see you.
Great to see you as well.
Any questions from the audience? Yes, Phil?
I just want to know how big the park is, once you get into the park.
He is asking the size of the park.
Ross, size of the park, what's the guy's name, Ross?
I don't recall off the top of my head, but yeah, definitely in the the
127.
dozens of acres. Yeah.
Around 138.
You look like you were gonna sing a little tune there.
Thank you.
We do not have Zoom, so nobody on Zoom. Right, well, if there's no other questions for Ross, then I take a motion to approve, the PSA thing for our social. Not to exceed 25,000. Moved by Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Kennedy, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Thank you, Ross.
Thank you very much, commissioners. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, thanks for starting.
No problem.
Kato, I couldn't leave. I wanted to finish it out. It was a good meeting. Yeah, director's reports. Okay, start with me. Kato's up front here, fire pension. Patrick, welcome.
Good evening.
And this is being recorded for YouTube?
Yes,
Okay.
so we should use the mics. Sorry.
Just sort of like-
Just a couple quick things that I had for you this month. I have 3 members that are wrapping up a newly redesigned vehicle rescue program that the state released this past year. So 3 will be wrapping up that course this coming weekend. So happy. I think that was a 4-week-long class, 2 nights a week and weekends. So commitment on training continues to be high on the priority list for us. Obviously, we're less than a week away from October, which is really hard to believe. Thank you to Abby and Jess for a post today about preparedness as we move into fire prevention week and month. Our open house is planned for October 15th. So stop by, see fire company, count down fire failures, maybe CMS and count police, and hopefully it'll be a good night. And then finally, just want to bring up, as you may or may not be aware, yesterday, we did respond to a house fire in Barley Sheep Farms development. I'm happy to report that there were no civilian injuries or firefighter injuries, and there was one pet rescued from the fire, so happy to report that, and, continues to be investigated by the fire marshal's office of, the township as well as the county. That's all I had for tonight, unless you have any questions.
Commissioners, Thomas? Thank you. After our fire meeting, I did drive around and I checked out the sign.
Oh, yes,
Yeah, it looks good. Looks sharp.
so it gives a nice little facelift to the
It
building,
does.
so. Thank you.
All right. Thank.
Have a good night.
That's Minquist. Eric, well.
Good evening. So August was another busy month for us. Call volume continued to trend upward. Compared to last year, we got our staffing remained strong, allowing us to continue that high level of service that everybody wants, needs, and deserves. We're in the process of onboarding a couple full-time positions to get closer to full capacity, which will provide more consistency across shifts, make it easier to cover calls as they come in, because of the higher call volume. Right now, our main challenge is forced call incidents, which are those daytime responses, when we're getting inundated, with call volume. It's a shift in demand that we are actively managing, so we're keeping an eye on that. Beyond emergency response, our crews were back on the football field with football standbys, some more supporting community events. So from medical emergencies to helping residents at local festivals, events, August reminded us that there are 2 needs at the city. So, and I am happy to report that A3 is in station. It's fully loaded. It will be inspected on Monday, so hopefully you'll see that roaming the streets of town in the coming weeks. So, I don't have anything else unless you guys have any, ladies have anything for me.
Fisher? Congratulations on these three.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Derek. And I did notice that our call volume is down 34%, was it?
Yeah, so if you haven't noticed, we have some. Your call volume has, leveled off a little bit, which means that they're happy and healthy. Here in Town Township, so
That's right.
we'll take it, right?
Yeah.
I'll report back next month. We'll keep an eye on it.
I was gonna say, I think you'll see that change next.
You just jinxed it.
Thanks. 2.3, Eagle Side Golf Course. Oh.
Good evening.
Good to see you. I'm Nicole.
Hello. I'm very happy to report that we had our best month of the year in August. And from the records I have, the best month in the history of Ingleside Golf Club, as far as our records go to 2007.
Wow.
Our records, so. Yeah, 148 grand in revenue in 1 month and 4,000 golfers was, not something I expected. But we're very excited about that. It's slowed down significantly now, but that's just because it's cooled off. And kids are back in school. Speaking of school, the high schools are back. Collegium Charter and Church Farm School both call Ingleside home. So we do everything we can to make sure their matches and their practices run smoothly. And we take care of them all week, 3 times a week, I think, through the season. Also, the third and final youth clinic started up. West Bradford Youth Association handles the registration and we handle everything else. So that's started back up with Joel, Mr. Cummings, our teaching professional, and some volunteers helping out with that program. And we're currently running our membership drive where we're offering the rest of this year free when you sign up for 2026.
Good to see that, folks.
And all of our membership information is available on our website at golfingleside.com.
You. Congratulations on that big month.
Thank you.
All right. Move right along, Public Works. Johnny here.
Unfortunately, Director Huggins was unable to make it this evening, but wants to mention the report for the month is in the packet.
Mhm.
And any questions, I'll be happy to relay and get answered as quickly as possible for you.
Thank you. Building life and safety.
Thank you.
Back out.
Thank you, Commissioner. Obviously, we continue to be busy with, commercial and residential projects. The Hills of Corndale Woods, either gets a building permit or a building UNO, pretty much every other day, or several times a week at least. Most of those are single families, but they are starting to pick up on the townhomes as well. Cohen, received a special exception, so their land development, project should start moving forward again with that. Sheets came with a sketch plan. That review was completed and they came to the, planning commission to, put on a discussion about their potential project. Mainline Health, was back at the PC, and they're scheduled to come back again in October to try to clean up, their plans. And 201 Reesville Road, the old hospital complex, received a zoning variance to have more than one principal use on the property. We're starting to get our Storm Ida, awards trickle in. So after 5 years, we're starting to recoup some of that money back. As far as training, Assistant Fire Marshal Tommy Ravelli completed the National Fire Academy's Youth Fire Setting Prevention and Intervention course. And part-time firefighter Jonathan Huco, completed his NFPA 1033 certified fire investigator. Public education and outreach, Edges Mill, 4102 Edges Mill Road, installed another, new Knox box. And we assisted a resident at 2806 Kings Highway with a residential Knox box installation. And Copeland Run, we did their employee fire safety training in August. That's it.
06, Police Department. Steve? Dylan?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Real quickly, personnel milestones, Peg Molnar, our part-time office assistant, 4 years of service. Officer Colin Kaiser, 3 years of service. Service calls through the end of August, 7,778. 100 more than we were at the same period a year ago. National Night Out, first week of August, I already spoke about it during last month's meeting. Again, fantastic. Thanks to Abby and Tracy and the fire department, Public Works, everyone who pitched in for that event. Another huge success. And I'll have more a little further on down in the agenda regarding the intermediate.
So, congratulations to Ms. Molnar. So, yeah.
Yes, we do, they get like 10, 90 days and then we do something else. So we do to,
And we had a big one about a month or two ago, Jason Woodson did 25 years. So I presented 25-year service award, and that was on Facebook. But in the future, especially for the 10, 20, 25, the big ones, we could certainly talk about, if the board wants to do some type of recognition publicly. I think
that we go around.
Yeah.
This would be nice also.
Sorry.
Once you get an in of some sort, the new years, American.
Yeah, they have on the uniform sleeve hash marks. But yeah, we
Okay.
for the big ones, we do recognize that. But again, if the board would like to be involved in that,
And Ray's team too, so. I'll get they stick around long enough under Ray. Right? If they make it in 1 year.
Under Ray.
Last year. Give them a pin. Say the word.
I'm gonna turn this off now.
Couldn't tell that you could, this is a side all here. We were talking about Halloween, some of them were saying, I really don't like Halloween. I really don't get dressed up for Halloween, but you notice I'm always a police officer. And she said, I need my wife, because I love the police officer, which is Fallon, and I respect the thing too, but she always wanted to be a police officer.
That's awesome, yeah.
I thought that was all too, but I didn't know that. She's always a cop, and I never knew why she wanted to always be dressed up as a cop. So she says she really respects her in the community.
Instead of a codes inspector.
Yeah, she said she wanted to be a police officer. She respects what they do. Somebody's watching.
I gotta add on to that. We were at a wedding on Saturday. And, during the cocktail hour, there was a nice couple we were sitting next to, started chatting and where you live. We live in town, in Thorndale. Town, the gentleman is, works for the county, 911. Talking about our police, he said, oh my God, this police are the best. We love working with them, so.
Well, I don't know if any of you had a chance to see on our Facebook page today, York County Lake Arrest 3 officers. We actually sent 2, for those of you know, 5 were shot serving a warrant ambush.
Yeah.
A little over a week ago, 3 of them fatally. So it's just always a reminder
Yeah.
of, you know, sometimes we take things for granted and things could become kind of commonplace, but you know, everyone expects to go home at the end of the day. 3 of them didn't last week, so that's a sad day for our profession.
Last but not least, community enhancement.
Yeah, so the chief already talked about National Night Out. Seems like forever ago now, but it was pretty epic. We also had a movie night in August, Wonka, which was very fun. It was candy themed. There's candy everywhere. There was candy in the popcorn. Everyone had a really good time. And then we also did our first adult art in the park, which you've been hearing me talk about for months. It went really well. It was a beautiful night. We got some lovely photos out of it. And there are still spaces left for the second one, which is this Saturday, the drawing meadow plants class. So we've had a good sign up for that, but there are a few spaces left if anyone wants to come. It's going to be fun. That's here actually. Other than that, I think we've talked a lot about the Jahako Memorial Park benches. A lot of you were there. We put our first bench in last week, and then the second one is going to be going in Monday evening, and that's going to be along the baseball field facing the large baseball field. So that's exciting too. We are also adding Ingleside to the website so people can sponsor a bench at the golf course as well.
Little plaques on them.
They do. Yeah, they're very nice plaques. So Jahako took care of all of that for us. She's got a source and yeah, it's really ideal because we do almost nothing. We're like going out and marking where we want the bench and that's it. It's great. So pretty perfect. And then the only other thing I wanted to touch on, I don't know if everybody saw, we did a video with the Western Chester County last month chamber. So thanks, Paul, for starring in that. They came out and did their Western Chester County Checks In video series here in Cal. And it's on social media if anybody wants to watch it. But that was kind of cool. Other than that, we were just kidding. Oh, I don't know. I mean, thanks. We all need to I think I need to practice anyway. And I think, do you all have the image? The only other thing I wanted to point out was this map. everybody knows that we did this little survey for people that were impacted by the power surges on Kings Highway. And I thought it would be interesting just to map the responses that we got. And I think it is interesting how like narrowly grouped they are, because it was sort of hard to tell from the actual responses. So anyway, I think that's pretty much it. Any questions for me? Yep.
And next, finance department, Lisa.
Hello, good evening, commissioners. Thanks for coming out. A lot going on in the finance department, but unfortunately, nothing that I can discuss right now because we're in the midst of budget season. And I'm going to leave it at that because I know over the next month or two, you're not going to want to hear my voice. But you'll have the financials in your packet there. And you should also have a memo for something, the MMOs under the resolution section for tonight. Just a little bit of history back to 2020, where we stand with the expense part as well as the state aid that we get yearly as well. That's it. Thank you so much.
Questions? On to the checklist. Any questions or comments on that? I did have one. I'm so excited to see that our wastewater department guys got new uniforms. One of the checks right.
They get that. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what the question is.
Oh, it's not a question.
Oh, okay.
I know how Scott is, and they've always used the same uniforms for like a decade. It's good to see some money spent for some good uniforms. Well, Scott's not online, but you guys can. All right, if there's any questions about the checks, entertain a motion to approve. From 54,688 to 54,774, and then we'll check that 300. Second. Moved by Commissioner Tindale, second by Commissioner Young. All in favor? Say aye. Aye. That's been approved. Moving on to the township manager, what do we have here now?
Hi, good evening, Commissioner. Just a couple of items here for your consideration and for discussion. The first will be an ongoing agenda item during business meetings regarding the study of working with DVRPC and CMAC and consultant that was brought on board, Tool Design. This is for pedestrian and safety improvements along Lincoln Highway between the city of Brooksville and Downtown Borough. We've had did some preliminary discussions with the design team so far, and are setting up some stakeholder meetings and public participation meetings. As mentioned during the workshop, this is going to be a big project with a quick turnaround. So we will be very active in getting the word out about the proposed improvements, and that will be focused on the report in order to help improve that roadway. An active component of the scope of work is public participation. So the first meeting date has not been set, but as soon as it is, we'll get the word out. It will be an open house. Right now, Tool Design is essentially collecting data on the roadway, looking at best practices and similar types of conditions, and assessing the site with, conditions itself, along with proposed or forthcoming developments that are proposed along the corridor, and putting together some preliminary concepts along with guidance from local stakeholders and community leaders. And then that open house will be scheduled in the near future, and we do wish to have as many members of the public involved as possible in order to solicit feedback. So much more to come on that. Again, this project is really just kicked off, but will be, knock on wood, completed by the end of June 2026. So for a project of this size, it certainly has a quick turnaround, which is exciting for us. The sooner that it's done, the sooner that we can start implementing some of the good recommendations that undoubtedly will be presented in the report. happy to answer any questions, but at this point, there's a lot more to come over the course of the next couple months.
Pretty exciting. Commissioners, comments, questions? So, now this is going from Postville to Downey, right through downtown. Correct. And it's beautiful, so, that county. I'm looking forward to that. And next we have the salt shed. I know we're still waiting for some bids.
We are, we do have, that was presented, I believe, in the workshop meeting, a CoStarz quote for a salt shed, and also we have reached out to the company that provides facilities for PennDOT. The PennDOT cost was quite significant. And I know Director Huggins is working to obtain an additional quote. You only have the one right now that's more or less within a reasonable cost. So with the board's consideration, we hope to have that in shortly. We can certainly, there's still time to get this done before the winter weather hits and we get our first delivery of salt. So we will have it on the next meeting, but at this point we have not received the necessary quote for what that cost will look like. So would request postponing, tabling that consideration until we do have more information to make that.
Since it is an, I'll entertain a motion to take. So moved. Second, all in favor? Aye. 4.3. Building light improvements. What location are you talking about?
Yeah, actually, thank you, Commissioner. So as was discussed at the workshop meeting, we are focusing Mrs. Rock to township attention to see the parking area specifically between the administrative building and the police station in evening hours is quite dark. There is insufficient lighting out there. We do have members that attend of the public that attend these meetings that occasionally be parked in the back, and more importantly, we do have staff and members of the police department that are on call 24/7. There's always some activity occurring. In order to help ensure safety, not just for individuals that happen to be in the parking lot, getting to the vehicles, but motorists traveling through that parking lot, the recommendation from the chief would be to install some additional lighting elements in that parking area. For you, there is a quote that the chief and Director Huggins were able to secure, and of course allow the chief to fill in any of the blanks I'm leaving out. But this would be an action item for the board's consideration associated with improving lighting from a safety standpoint in that parking area.
Chief, do you want to?
Well, the manager pretty much covered it. We've actually had incidents and situations in this area where identification was a problem during the night. We had domestics, we had people, in custody situations who come here to hand off a child, and before you know it, there's a problem. We have residents from time to time who walk between the buildings at night. There's some things I'd rather not talk about publicly that, we've encountered, but lighting is clearly an issue for all of you, the public, and again, the officers, particularly those that work the night shift. So, the light we're looking at, because I know we're always concerned that it, doesn't negatively impact neighbors or anyone living there, but it's a toned downward light that doesn't extend outward, that will just illuminate the area between the buildings, that not be, should not be an issue.
Not affect the home,
For the homes.
bedroom windows.
Right,
so,
right.
Living room areas and whatnot.
Right.
That would be my only concern.
Yep.
It is, move the existing 50 lots, installing 300 lumen.
So there's
Different type of
actually,
lighting,
I'm sorry.
it's a different type of lighting you're installing.
So they'll be replacing the light that's there now with the really dim, with the brighter light, and adding the light.
So.
Very similar to lighting on the south side of this building. So
You're utilizing the same pole.
utilizing the same pole. Now, we talked about lighting on the buildings that project downward. But in discussions with Director Huggins and Ray Petrie, we agree this is probably the best solution. And again, one that will not cause any grief of neighbors.
What is the cooler temperature or warmer temperature?
Right.
Doctor, right?
So that's a good question. I
high-tech.
hate to say it, but see for yourself pretty much what it will look like. It's the same exact lighting that's on the south side. Okay. Now we're your part. Yep. It's definitely brighter than the light we have now, which I would consider a dull, warm light. It's definitely brighter than that, but it's he's gonna replicate what's currently out there.
So he's just using the poles that we have out there now.
Yep, no more, no extra pole, same pole.
All right, that makes some sense.
So you want like a 120 decibel on?
Yes.
So what do you use on that?
I want to get with the air. I wish I can't, but it's very difficult, but idea.
Ray just walked out, and he's gonna take a picture of everything.
Oh, it's dark. It's dark. It is dark. It is.
Between the buildings?
Yeah, it's very good.
Yeah. Yep.
It's dark.
Even at the last meeting, we got a resident that we've never seen before comment the same thing, stating that
Yeah.
it's just too dark and back there.
Good dark in the front area.
It's dark in the handicap area. It's dark.
Only the chief office is concerned.
Dark down at the bottom of the hill.
Derek
It's dark across the street at that pump station. They can be there for a while. It's dark. It's dark. It's dark after dark.
Let's get things up. Any other comments about these lights? It is an action item, right? Entertain a motion to, this is removing the existing 50 watt, installing a 6,300 lumen, 4,000 day roadway light photo cell controlled for dusk to dawn operation. Also, 180 watt LED floodlights on existing steel pole with a Xenon bracket. 2-inch split bitter. That's motor cell control in the amount of 4,900, 4,970. Moved. You'd like Commissioner Tenero, second by Commissioner Kennedy, all in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Take a look at the front areas. I'm saying it's brought that up. Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna beat, Johnson's down here. Beat LNS, conditional officer of employment. Mr. Stackhouse, when we need in this.
Yes, sir, thank you. At the April 24th, 2025 Board of Commissioners meeting, the board approved the civil service firefighter eligibility list adopted by the Civil Service Commission on April 9th. To meet the needs of the department, we are requesting to hire an additional part-time firefighter off the established eligibility list and request consideration of the motion that's in front of you this evening. To make a conditional offer to firefighter David Jones. David is a certified firefighter EMT who fully meets the township job requirements. He currently serves as a live-in at Clean Fire Company in Westchester, where he's gained valuable hands-on experience. References consistently describe him as capable, dependable, and committed to his responsibility. Based on his qualifications and strong recommendations, David appears well suited for the role within the Township Fire Department. He has submitted all his other requirements. It would be a conditional offer of employment pending physical drug test and signing the job description.
Is this for full-time or part-time?
Part-time.
Commissioners, any comments, questions? And motion to authorize, Director of Building and Life Safety to extend the conditional offer of employment. By letter, applicant David, Moved and second, moved by Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Narrow. In favor? Yeah. Aye.
Thank you.
You know that David Bowie, it's a real name, get a name. David Stratton.
But they didn't have a locker, they changed it.
No, well, there was Davy Jones and that's getting.
Yeah, lock. Yeah, I had to throw that joke out. Okay, CCIU discussion? Who would like to take this?
Start it off, just, thank you, commissioners, but as you know, this is an ongoing school year upon us. We, will continue to have the County Intermediate Unit as an agenda item to provide updates, regarding conditions at that facility. Through discussions, the year's off to a start. Pete,
How do I follow up on that? So the last time we discussed this was at the meeting at the end of August, and at that point, we anticipated that the sheriffs would have a presence there in an SRO partnership with the intermediate unit, and that has come to fruition. For the first 4 weeks, the week ending last Friday, we have been there 33 times, our department. I don't know how many additional incidents there have been that we weren't requested to assist with. We made a request from the sheriff's office that they provide us with those numbers on a weekly basis so that we could more accurately track as the school year progresses. Compared to last year, the year before, where we stand. Because the report I get weekly and I share with the manager and Ray is strictly the calls that we're involved in. Of the 33, 16 already are locals. And they don't even call us if a student walks out of the school, unless they actually leave the school property. But there could have been more that walked out, but there have been at least 16 where the student walks out and then leaves the school grounds. And we have to try to retrieve them. Last week, fortunately, we were only there 3 times, so I'm going to remain cautiously optimistic that this partnership between the intermediate unit and the sheriff's work out. But I think only time will tell. And as the manager mentioned, we'll continue to report back to this board on a monthly basis.
Director Stackhouse. There's been another.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to dogpile on there a little bit. So we had mentioned before that, EMS and fire are also, slightly impacted, over the years, each school year. Well, last week, 3 days in a row, we had a child pull the pool station. So it was what we call malicious activation. While initially it may not seem like a lot, it actually is kind of a big deal. It's a big deal for not only the safety, potential safety of the kids at the school, but the residents from the time we turn our lights on responding to that call, let alone people that could need our service, not just our service, our mutual aid companies. It creates a huge issue. So that occurred 3 days in a row, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday last week, and then it occurred again on Monday. We addressed some issues at the scene with CCIU. We also demanded a meeting, which Chief Elias attended with me, where we told him we weren't gonna tolerate that. I mean, it was a huge safety issue for us. Our ordinance does allow us to cite businesses or organizations that have what we call false activations after the fourth time, and then continually within a 12-month period. We also addressed some of the ways they were handling the situation when the kids were being evacuated. They were cooperative, but that was after, we said that we weren't going to tolerate it anymore. So we haven't had one since then, but we continue to have conversations with them, and we've initiated conversations with our solicitor on the best way legally to address those citations, meaning exactly who we should be citing. So I've notified CCIU. I had an email with them today, and told them we're going to continue to follow through with our ordinances, and but we'll continue to try to work with them as well as they work through the situation.
What's the citation?
So it starts at $50, but it can go up to $1,000. So it would start at 50. Typically, what we do for any ordinance violation, depending on the severity, but typically will increase by $100 each time.
And criminally, it's a misdemeanor of the first degree, which is pretty much a low-grade felony. So in addition to what Director Stackhouse's office is doing, we're actually trying to determine from the sheriff's office whether or not the student has been charged, and if not, likely wouldn't be charged by legislation. The reason it's a misdemeanor one is it's serious, and for everyone in the school, for the people who are responding, it's Ray just pointed out. So we've taken pretty much a zero tolerance approach. So far, they've been cooperative and receptive, but again, like the responses that we've made on the time to tell how seriously they take it.
Yeah, and it's worth noting that the reports we're getting in, this was the same student that did it each time. The report we have is that student is not from the area, that student's from Reading. So we're going to try to take an approach of taking legal action against the school, because when the child's there, they're a responsibility of the school, and the school has to control those actions. And the police are gonna, seek the avenue of the student themselves. So, maybe that'll help.
Is it a certain time of day?
No, it's multiple different times. Two of the times we're at dismissal, which just compounds the issue, because dismissal is all CCIU buildings, so all 5 buildings. So again, anytime the police are fired or EMS, turn the lights on to respond to a call, there's an assumed risk. We could get into an accident, we could be in an accident with a pedestrian, so there's an assumed risk when it's supposed to be a real emergency. When it's for a malicious action, that's just not tolerable.
And we're also depriving our own residents of those same services.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no.
We must have a school in the it's far. That's what he's all started on.
We raise these fines, raise these fines, it's $50, it's not even a slap on the wrist.
So I did talk to the solicitor about that. We could issue the fine. Unfortunately, we're limited at $1,000
Yeah,
by law, but we could issue a fine for $1,000 each time.
I recommend that.
I haven't, they're due the next time they have an alarm that is not real. If that's, I have no issue. I have no issue whatsoever, that.
Yeah, it is. Playing around for fire for years, and we thought that we had a big step forward with Sarah. We can't afford to put our police in our emergency responders and things, but yeah. $1,000.
Yeah, with their company.
It might, $50 it might.
It gives them like 10 times to do it.
What do you do then? You have to do it for everyone?
Right?
No,
Well, I'll be honest with you, I mean, it's typically based on the severity, so no, I mean, we use judgment, we make judgment calls all the time.
Yeah.
Just like anything else, that's why it's a varied scale. You know, if somebody's cooperating with us, if somebody's taking action, if somebody just doesn't know the law or know the rules, then we'll usually set it lower. But they know, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I just don't know how the kid's still in school to be able to continue to do that. Once or twice, we probably wouldn't even thought anything about it. When it happens consistently, again, I don't know what rules they're bound by, but all I can worry about is our residents and our responders. So I'm not really concerned about what their rules are. To me, the students should be removed from the situation. And they're the only ones that can do that. So if they're not going to do that on their own, then I think we should, take as much action as we can to make them understand that we're not pitting.
But we could cite for burglary, after the third time, but most of the time they're weather related. And the owner isn't doing anything malicious, but this is done with malicious intent.
Yeah.
So there's clearly a difference between the two.
And we are, again, I've been talking to the solicitor and we're trying to find out the legality of who we name in the citation. Typically, we name the organization. But the problem with that is it may never get, what if they don't pay? Who's responsible? Who do we go after? So I am in conversations with Kristen Campbell and, is the head of the organization who I can name in the citation? And if I'm allowed, that's what I'll do.
thank you.
Any comments about this?
Thank you both. And you too, Tony.
Good to see you, buddy. Thank you. All right, resolution 2024-19. So the non-uniform MMO. Reiterate what we spoke about at the last meeting. Don, you said?
For the finance director regarding the
Well,
MMO resolution.
So she's okay. So before you are two resolutions for the police and the non-uniform MMOs for 2026. This is a calculation that's done, and we are given that calculation for the board to review. As the commissioners, it is what it is. And we are just asking for your acknowledgement of receipt of both of these. And also to understand that these are obligations that will be placed on the 2026 budget. So, and before you just, I have a history, like I said, from 2020 to 2026 with the police, the non-uniform, what our obligation is for the township, and then also where the state aid falls. And that state aid is split between both of those pension plan MMOs, just to be fair to both of those plans. This is a calculation from our actuarial teams. And, a lot goes into that calculation, but it also, includes, a 10-year review. The amount of people that are in the plans, how many police officers are in the plan, how many non-uniforms are in the plan. So, it's very technical, but, right now, this is what we're looking at for 2026, in those two resolutions.
Comments for the board?
The mine state aid is. Wow, last year, but it's better than I was in 2020, so fantastic, thank you.
My pleasure.
For putting the time into this report.
Trying to make it easy for you.
We need it.
Councilor Sterling, any comments? Fine.
Get used to it.
I will entertain a motion to approve resolution 2025-19 for the non-uniform pension fund.
Some moved.
Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Kennedy, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
5-0. Entertain a motion to approve resolution 2025-20, acknowledging the receipt of the 2026 minimum municipal obligation worksheet, including said obligation for the police pension plan. So moved.
Second.
By Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Tamara. Favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. Minutes to approve, September 11th. Any comments, changes needed? That, entertain a motion to approve. One vote. Moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Cordero. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Has been approved. Then we have the planning commission minutes for the knowledge. These are for March 18th, June 17th, and August 19th. Moved by Commissioner Evans, second by Commissioner Cordero. Favor, say aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. The horse races. The results.
By a nose.
Sorry about that.
Crazy legs. And, yeah, that done, additional business. It's done. Voice. 3 times. Public comment. Tony. Since you're on vacation. This area.
I got 20 questions. You talked about this before, these people riding motorcycles down the highway. And they're all dressed in the dark. Nighttime. I almost got one myself, so. But I don't, somewhere, I think they're trying to ban them off the highway. Delaware County from new.
The electric
Bikes, yeah.
bicycle, e-bikes, and
Yeah.
this is something I meant to bring up, so you just, right, you just
Brought
got it.
this up before.
They're having their helmets.
All the DUIs are riding them out.
Yeah. They have a helmet that,
They don't even have a helmet, they got a hat.
no, this was an ordinance that was passed, was that in
Yeah.
Downtown passed it?
And them girls got killed in Jersey.
Yeah,
They said about certain age, yeah. But the thing is, they have no lights on their bikes. One guy had a backlight, that was the best thing I've seen, but some, it's dark. They're out there in the dark, they got all dark, hood on, And then if you hit them, you get sued. So you know.
You've seen on like bypass as well?
Pardon me? No, so
Oh, just Lincoln Highway.
highway.
Manor Avenue.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's just dangerous. It's not that, we're the ones gonna get sued if we hit them, that's the problem.
Chief, you want to sit behind
Yeah, I couldn't agree more about it. It's very dangerous. The problem is trying to catch it without creating even more of a hazard.
Or even if they had lights on, like, so you could see something, but they're just. Oh,
There's no regulation. These e-bikes.
There are, so we had a question earlier in the week, about electric scooters, and, e-bikes. It's kind of complicated. Motor scooters are defined by the vehicle code as motor-driven cycles. To comply with equipment standards and inspection requirements, they have to have certain equipment. Lights, turn signals, mirrors. If they do, they need to be titled and registered, and then they could be driven on the highway. Most of them don't. So vehicles that don't meet the inspection requirements can only be driven on private property. Can't be driven on a sidewalk. E-bikes, you know, they talk about the electric motor must be under 750 watts, maximum 20 miles an hour, weigh no more than 100 pounds. The operator of the e-bike must be at least 16 years of age. The key is if it's got pedals, it's not considered a motor vehicle. If it doesn't have pedals and it's strictly powered by the electric motor, then it's basically the equivalent of an electric motorcycle. And then all of the vehicle code requirements will apply.
Thing is, have some kind of ordinance, if people have lights or some kind of something so you can see them. So, like I said, you like them, you're stupid.
Oh, they're supposed to have lights, but again, trying to get them stopped to identify who the driver is and the owner of the bike
I'm sure that
without causing a crash. And the last time and I'm going back years, you know, we followed a motorcycle, the motorcycle accelerated, the driver killed himself. Almost killed someone else, that went off the road, they were killed himself. And we don't want to see that happen either, but your point is well taken. I couldn't agree with you more. 40 years of doing this, the toughest vehicle to try to catch in a high-speed pursuit is a motorcycle. And so. I mean, they're just, they can do things and go places that you can't go with a conventional police car. I mean, the problem was so bad a few years ago, especially during the pandemic, that we actually used a state police helicopter to try to follow these people to their point of origin so that we could identify them and the owner of the bike.
you know, I don't want to get sued. You don't want to get sued. You know, citizen. You don't want to get sued. Not just me, these people that are going to work. Yeah. And these people passing on the side. And don't even say it. I mean, when it's my now, they ain't paying, you know, it's different. But that time, you can't see it.
Yeah, I mean, all the requirements are already there, like everything that Mr. Serio mentioned, is covered in the vehicle code. Again, you gotta stop to be hit with siding and it's.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, easier said than done.
Yep.
But I couldn't agree with you more.
All right, thank you.
That was only one. You said good 20.
I was just a tough to put ball door in case.
Is there anything in our audience recently, concerning e-bikes? How we,
We would defer to the code as far as, what requirements are being placed. We can look into what was referenced by Downingtown and what they have recently adopted and see if that would be something that we could consider here.
I would be something, give us.
How long that requires reflect the material. Even if it, just get it on, get it in there, even if it doesn't change anything. Some people will respond to it, some parents will respond to it.
The ordinance, when they're in violation.
You can't stop it.
If they are stopped,
Yeah.
we should have some type of, ordinance or codes that can, control the outcome of it.
I think Pete's point about the difficulty in, stopping individuals safely, we could also look at from a communication standpoint.
It's kind of highlighting some of these provisions and getting the message out. Obviously, you could always pass some additional ordinances, but if the initial, with stopping the individuals is difficult from a safety perspective, and also look at public awareness. Trying to get that message out. Here's one about like individuals in the home, we'll be regulating from that standpoint as well. So we can look at it from both directions, both from the enforcement side and also the public awareness side. Hopefully that might make a difference.
That might be against the parents, because they're buying these vehicles for these kids. They find out that they're subject to fines and violations, they might red flag them from letting you invest in them.
Well, you know, it's not all kids either.
It's still
It's adults.
Yeah,
It's adults.
we won in my neighborhood along Field Publican, back behind Lloyd. It's the children, it's the young adults and it's parents, so it's all. It's all
All
generations.
different age groups, and stuff, and it just, the kids, yeah. Get the whole family.
Issue the question, the other day they said they were, raiding around the vape shops around Chester County, and they were selling other contraband. or something. I'm not sure what was going on, but I didn't know if the area, in township worked with the on that.
There was one in the township. But it's an ongoing investigation, as part of the state police doing task force. So I wish I could say more responsive.
I know they were very active, throughout the county. I was just wondering if it's something that we are being impacted by this.
I think there were 18 locations that they served. There's one, so the state police actually had 3 53-foot trailers. They filled them.
Oh, that's. I mean, can I ask you, I know they were saying they were just running out illegal, the bond out of these vape shops, and they feel that much?
Not that wanted to be the evidence that.
They pull it out of the vape shop.
Every time we go to take one right now, it's telling to find people. It's legal. I'm free from.
Okay. I'm just wondering if we don't.
I'm not gonna be there on this time, so we can sit and talk all that.
Yeah, we did have one. I was looking.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other public comment? Entertain motion to adjourn. Second, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Do you need anything from me?